You have probably never questioned how a blatant absurdity becomes an undeniable truth, but you should, because it happens far more often than we care to admit. In the summer of 1842, New York City was about to undergo a masterclass in mass manipulation. A broke, ambitious operator named Phineas Taylor Barnum was looking for a way to dominate the city's attention. What he settled on was not a grand work of art, nor a genuine scientific marvel. It was a hideous, 3-foot-long object supposedly caught in the waters near the Fiji Islands. In reality, it was an Indonesian fisherman's craft project, the torso of an immature orangutan stitched expertly to the tail of a salmon. The teeth were bared in a permanent, agonized grimace, and the skin was covered in coarse, blackened hair. It had been brought to America by a sea captain named Samuel E. Griffin, who needed cash and approached Barnum. Barnum did not simply put the object on display and hope for the best. Instead, he invented a playbook of hype that modern marketing agencies still use down to the letter. Weeks before the exhibit opened, mysterious letters began appearing in major New York newspapers. Purportedly written by naturalists and academics, these letters debated the very existence of a creature halfway between fish and mammal. The public was drawn into an artificial controversy before anyone had even laid eyes on the specimen. By the time the Feejee Mermaid debuted at Barnum's American Museum on Broadway, the streets outside were gridlocked. Patrons paid 25 cents each, a steep price at the time, just to catch a glimpse of the shriveled horror. Here is the part most superficial retellings of this story leave out. The audience knew it was likely fake, but they came anyway. They weren't necessarily victims of a gullible era, they were participants in a massive game of mutual make-believe. The thrill wasn't in discovering a new species. The thrill was in the puzzle of figuring out how the trick was pulled. This exposes a fundamental quirk of human cognition known as choice supportive bias and the entertainment of wonder. People wanted to be amazed so badly that they outsourced their skepticism to the crowd. If everyone else is standing in line, the brain concludes the experience must have inherent value. Barnum even hired a man to pose as a disgruntled professor claiming the mermaid was a fraud, further fueling attendance. It was reverse psychology executed with industrial precision. Day after day, thousands of dollars poured into the museum coffers. The mermaid became the most talked about object in the Western world. Comment below whether you think you would have walked out demanding a refund, or stayed to inspect the stitches yourself. Of course, real scientists eventually demanded a closer inspection of the specimen. Whenever the heat got too high or skepticism threatened to ruin the illusion, Barnum simply moved the object. He sent it on tour to Philadelphia, Boston, and London, keeping the narrative alive across continents. Even after the original object was supposedly destroyed in a museum fire years later, its legacy refused to burn. The playbook Barnum wrote has not disappeared, it merely migrated to our digital feeds. Every viral challenge, manufactured controversy, and engagement bait headline is a direct descendant of the Feejee Mermaid. We like to think we're too sophisticated to fall for a monkey sewn to a fish. Yet we consume the modern equivalents every single day, willingly paying our attention for the privilege of being fooled. If you enjoy pulling back the curtain on history's greatest manipulations, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more.